Read the following passage and answer the questions 1 through 10 on the train. Jeremy closed his book and stared out the window at the passing trees, houses, and farms. Jeremy had already been on the train for 4 long hours and his phone had died a while before. Now that he had finished his book, he wasn't sure how he was going to pass the 16 hours that remained. He glanced at the older man and woman who were sitting across from him. They were both reading thick books that looked dull. Earlier, when they had first sat down across from Jeremy, the woman had raised her eyebrows at the man and smiled. They probably thought that Jeremy was too young to be traveling without an adult. But Jeremy was 13 years old and had taken the train alone before. It upset him when adults treated him like a little kid. Either way, Jeremy hoped that the man and woman wouldn't ask him any annoying questions. The man looked up from his book and smiled at Jeremy. Hi, I am Clyde. Have you finished your book already? Jeremy stared at Clyde for a moment before smiling politely and nodding. How long a ride do you have? Clyde asked. I'm going to Clearwater, said Jeremy, and you? Ellen and I are headed to Tampa. The woman Ellen set her own book aside. It's still a long way, she said. Would you like to play a game of cards with us? A card game would certainly help the time pass more quickly. Sure, I'll play one game, Jeremy replied. But one game turned into two and then three. Ellen kept making jokes and Clyde offered Jeremy tips on how to play better. The three travelers ended up playing for over 3 hours. Afterward, Ellen decided to visit the cafe car. Jeremy turned back to the window, wishing he had another book to read. As if he had read Jeremy's mind, Clyde asked, Need a new book? Jeremy looked at the huge book Clyde was holding. Oh, no thanks, Jeremy said. Do you like science fiction? Jeremy was surprised. Yes, it's my favorite. Clyde reached into his bag and pulled out a shabby paperback book with a worn out spine and yellow pages. Try this one. You can keep it. I have read it 1,000 times. Really? Thanks. Jeremy took the book, which was called Red Planet. He spent the rest of the trip reading and sometimes chatting with Clyde and Ellen. Finally, the train approached Tampa. It was nice to meet you, Jeremy Clyde said. You too. Bye. And I can't wait to read the rest of this book, Jeremy said. He waved to them as they walked by on the platform and then he dived back into the story. Question number 1. Why was Jeremy staring out the window on the train? So it was given in the first paragraph that Jeremy had already been on the train for 4 long hours and his phone had died a while before. So option C is the correct option here. He was trying to pass the time. That's why he was staring out of the window. Question number 2. How long had Jeremy been on the train before his book finished and his phone died? 4 hours. So option A is the correct option. Question number 3. Why did the woman raise her eyebrows at Jeremy and smile when they first sat down? Probably thought that Jeremy was too young to be traveling without an adult. So here option C is the correct option. She thought Jeremy was too young to travel alone. Question number 4. How did Jeremy feel when adults treated him like a little kid? It makes him upset. So option C is the correct option. Question number 5. What did Clyde ask Jeremy when he looked up from his book? She asked, Would you like to play a game of cards with us? So here option A will be the correct option if Jeremy wanted to play a game. Question number 6. How did Jeremy feel about playing a game with Clyde and Ellen? He was excited because his response was, Sure, I'll play one game. Question number 7. What did Clyde offer Jeremy when he saw him looking for another book? He asked him, Do you like science fiction? So option C is the correct option, a science fiction book. Question number 8. What was the title of the book Clyde gave Jeremy? The title was Red Planet. So option C is the correct option here. Question number 9. How did Jeremy feel about meeting Clyde and Ellen? So he mentioned thanks, means he was grateful. So option C is the correct option here. Question number 10. How did Jeremy spend the rest of the trip after receiving the book from Clyde? He was reading and chatting with Clyde and Ellen. Question number 11. Look at these details from a paragraph about Utah. Utah has tall, snowy mountains. Utah has high lands that are flat and rocky. Utah has a flat desert made of salt. Choose the main or central idea that ties all the details together. Option A is Utah has a mix of landforms. Option B is Utah is home to a large salt lake. Option C, both A and B. And option D is none of these. So if we read this paragraph carefully, we can say that Utah has a mix of landforms like snowy mountains, flat and rocky lands, then flat deserts made of sand. Question number 12. Complete the following text with the correct pair of words. In his best-selling cookbook, Chef Fernando offers a simple dash recipe that requires chocolate, sugar, raspberries, and a dash stick of butter. So we have four options here: desert, dessert, whole, and whole. So HOL whole is like this. WHOLE whole means complete. Desert, I have shared the picture of desert, and dessert is something sweet that is made of sugar. So Chef Fernando offers a simple dash recipe, dessert recipe that requires chocolate, sugar, raspberries, and a whole stick of butter. So option D is the correct option here. Question number 13. Read the following passage and answer the below given questions. Moving day. Everything in Alice's home had been packed into the cardboard boxes. Now Alice's parents were loading each box into the back of the huge moving truck. As soon as they finished, they would all start the long drive from Georgia to Utah. You are going to love all the mountains in Utah, her dad told her. Her mom lifted a box of books into the truck, and there's a great zoo near our new house, her mom added. But Alice was thinking about how she had to leave her house and her school. She couldn't even think about saying goodbye to her best friend, Gabby. Alice hugged her stuffed penguin tightly and sighed. Alice couldn't keep looking at that moving truck, so she ran up to her room and shut the door. How does Alice feel about moving to Utah? Option A. She is scared that she will forget her stuffed penguin. Option B is she feels sad about leaving Georgia to go to Utah. Option C is she is worried about the long drive to Utah. Option D is she is excited to live near the mountains. So if we read the passage carefully, option B will be the suitable option. She feels sad about leaving Georgia to go to Utah. Question number 14. Read the following passage and answer the below given questions. The good old days. Connor groaned as Mom appeared on the screen in his video game pod. She looked angry. I'm trying to read, but Bobo keeps bothering me. Mom said he needs to be fed and cleaned. Bobo was Connor's Robert pet, and every day Connor had to keep him clean and push certain buttons to take care of him. Connor thought he would push the buttons today, but maybe he forgot. If you have time for video games, you have time for Bobo, Mom added before disappearing from the screen. Bobo rolled over to Connor. Yikes, Mom was right. But every day it's buttons, buttons, buttons. Connor grumbled. I'm going to be pushing buttons for the rest of my life. Mom appeared on the screen again. If Bobo stops working, you won't get to push any buttons. And that includes buttons for video games. Which example fits best with the opinion and reason? Option A. The robot is trying to pour itself a glass of water. Option B. The robot's head is dropping and its eyes are half closed. Option C. The robot is lying on the ground and not moving. Option D. The robot is pushing buttons to call its owner. So if we look at the picture, Option B is the suitable option. The robot's head is dropping and its eyes are half closed. So option B is the correct option. Question number 15. What is the following text most likely purpose? Kirk gasped. A bird was in his living room, flying in circles. Option A is to persuade. Persuade means to convince someone. Option B is to inform. Option C is to entertain. And option D is none of these. So the purpose of this sentence is to entertain. Question number 16. Read the following paragraphs and answer the below given questions. Text 1. Typing may be faster than writing by hand, but studies show that writing by hand is better for learning. Taking notes by hand is a slower process, so you don't have time to write everything down. Instead, you have to carefully choose which words are most important. Those who type notes tend to write everything they hear, since they have the time to do so. Although that might sound ideal, the process of summarizing actually helps you remember the information better. Text 2. Today's parents sometimes wonder if children should first learn to type or to write by hand. Research shows there is a strong connection between the hand and the brain. When students learn to write the alphabet, this connection helps students recognize letters more easily. Based on this research, many experts suggest that kids learn to write before learning to type. Which sentence best combines the main or central ideas of both texts? Option A. Scientists disagree about whether it's best for children to learn how to type or handwrite first. B. For learning the alphabet and for taking notes, writing by hand can be better than typing. C. Typing notes allow you to record more information, but you will learn better if you take notes by hand. D. Although you remember more information when you type, writing by hand is better for learning the alphabet. So here, suitable option is option B. For learning the alphabet and for taking notes, writing by hand can be better than typing. Question number 17. Use the following text to pull the events in the order. Every new law begins as a bill. After a member of Congress introduces a bill, it is printed in the congressional record. This bill is then sent to special committee. The committee holds hearings on the bill, where people can argue for and against it. If the committee decides to recommend the bill, it moves to the House and the Senate. Members of each house vote for or against the bill. If both houses vote for the bill, it is then sent to the president. Now we have to put the events in order. First point is the bill is sent to president. The second point is the bill is printed in the congressional record. Third is committee hearings are held. Fourth is the House and Senate vote on the bill. So here option A is the correct option. First of all, the bill is printed in the congressional record. Then committee hearings are held. The House and Senate vote on the bill. After that, the bill is sent to the president. Question number 18. Which text structure does the following text use? The hydrangea is an unusual plant. You can change the color of its flowers. This is because often the flower's color is related to the amount of aluminium they get from the soil. If you want your pink hydrangea to turn blue, just add aluminium sulfate to the soil. More aluminium leads to blue flowers. If you want to change the blue flower to pink, add dolomitic lime. It causes the soil to become less acidic. It's harder for hydrangeas to take in aluminium from less acidic soil, so your flowers will be pink. So, option A is descriptive, B is cause and effect, C is sequential, and D is none of these. So the type of this text is cause and effect. Due to the amount of aluminium, the color of the flower changes. So the cause is amount of aluminium and effect is the change in the color of the flower. So option B is the correct option here. Question number 19. What is the meaning of the following simile? The traffic moved like honey dripping off a spoon. A simile is a figure of speech involving the comparison of one thing with another thing of a different kind. So here let's read the options. The traffic moved slowly. Option B is the traffic moved away from the spilled honey. C is the traffic moved over a curved surface. D is none of above. So here option A is the correct option. The traffic moved like honey dripping off a spoon. Means the traffic moved very slowly. Question number 20. Read the following source of the allusion and answer the below given question. In the fable Belling the Cat, mice discuss how to protect themselves from a cat. One mouse suggests putting a bell on it so they can hear it coming. However, nobody wants to take the job. What is the meaning of the allusion in the sentence below? The firefighters had to decide who would bell the cat and enter the burning building first. Option A is to do something very silly and foolish. B is to do something very dangerous and risky. Option C is to do something very exciting and lively. And option D is all of above. Fable is a short story typically with animals or characters conveying a moral. So here belling the cat means to plan something that is dangerous and risky. So that's why nobody wants to take the job. So here in the sentence, the fighters had to decide who would bell the cat and enter the burning building. Here option B will be the suitable option. Question number 21. Read the following text and answer the below given questions. The figure of the speech is shown in bold. I hope he has all right. I thought of what uncle said about gold being a curse. I felt it reaching out with invisible hands to twist people's hearts and minds. It's made everyone crazy. What does this example of personification tell you? Personification is the attribution of a personal nature or human characteristics to something non-human. So option A is it suggests that people are touched by a magical force when they have a lot of money or gold. Option B is it suggests that people are becoming rich. C is it suggests that people are changing in a bad way. And D is all of the above. So here C is the correct option. It suggests that people are changing in a bad way because it's reaching out with invisible hands to twist people's hearts and minds. Question number 22. Which point of view does the narrator use in the following passage? Jane's curiosity turned to amazement when she saw Mr. Baxter march across the lawn right up to the front of the yellow house. He took hammer and nails from his overall pocket and a sign from under his arm. Option A is first person, option B is second person, option C is third person, and option D is none of these. So here option C is the correct option. Question number 23. Based on the following sentence, what is Rosa probably like? Rosa's breath heaved in her chest, but still she ran on and on towards the finish line. Option A, she is clumsy. B, she is confident. C, she is rude. And D, she is determined. So option D is the correct option. She was determined towards her target. That's why she kept on running. Question number 24. Read the following text and answer the below given question. Olivia grinned. It was usually impossible to find a seat, but there was a completely empty bench just waiting for her. She plopped down in the middle and immediately jumped back with sticky green hands. Olivia groaned. She should have known it was too good to be true. Based on the text, which sentence is most likely to be true? Option A, the bench was too hot to sit on. Option B, the bench had wet paint on it. Option C, the bench was broken. And option D is Olivia was eating something green and sticky. So here option D is the correct option because it is given that she jumped back up with sticky green hands. Question number 25. Read the following story and answer the below given questions. Contest on Mars colony. Axel was woken by the shrill Mars colony emergency alarm. He jumped from his bunk and pulled on his protective spacesuit. It was probably just a drill, but he didn't want to mess up if there really was a crack in their shield. Dad came in wearing his spacesuit and helmet. He gave Axel a thumbs up. The all clear bell sounded and his dad removed his helmet. All good? He asked. Axel nodded. Everything was fine, except that he missed Earth so much. What is the story's setting? Option A, a colony on Mars sometime in the future. Option B, a science school on the moon in modern times. C, a big apartment complex long ago. D, a beautiful forest in the year 2072. So here option A is the correct option. It is the setting of a colony on Mars sometime in the future because the person misses the Earth. Question number 26. What does it mean to have a big mouth? My cousin Troy has a big mouth, so he told everyone that I failed the midterm. Option A, to tend to give away secrets. Option B, to ask for favors to make something happen. Option C, to accept an offer now for a later time. D is to have large teeth and lips. So, have a big mouth is an idiom which means to be likely to reveal personal or confidential information to other people. So, here option A is the suitable option. 7. Read this first part of the story and answer the below given questions. Night in training. Evan put down his phone and sighed. His best friend's birthday party was tonight, but it was a skating party. The last time Evan had tried ice skating, he had wiped out and split his pants, and everyone had laughed. So just now he had told Ben he wasn't coming tonight. Worst friend ever, said a voice in his head. Flopping onto the sofa, Evan grabbed the video game controller. Maybe playing Night in Training would help him forget the disappointment he had heard in Ben's voice. He turned the game on and the message popped up on the screen. Congratulations, you have completed page training and advanced to the next level. Click here to start square training. Evan clicked and the screen flashed. Then a knight burst out of the TV, flew through the air, and landed feet first on the floor. Ivan blinked in amazement. A full-size knight was standing in his basement. What is the main thing on Ivan's mind right before he starts to play Knight in Training? Option A, he feels sad that his friend don't like video games. B, he's happy he's not going to the party. C, feels bad about letting his friend down. And D is he is excited about advancing in the game. So before playing the game, he was thinking maybe he should play Night in Training to forget the disappointment he heard in the Ben's voice. It means he was sad. He feels bad about letting his friend down. Question number 28. Read the following paragraph, then add the best topic sentence. Dash, new routes sometimes block the natural paths that animals use to migrate and can make migration more dangerous. To help these animals avoid busy road crossings, humans sometimes build tunnels or bridges for them. Animals of all sizes use these wildlife crossings, even animals as small as crabs. These crossings can also help prevent car accidents since they keep larger animals like deer off roads. So option A, wildlife crossings help animals and people travel more easily and safely. B, some people call crosswalks with stripes zebra crossing. C, crosswalks, tunnels and stop lights all make roads safer. D, wildlife crossings help keep deer off busy roads. So here option A is the suitable option. Wildlife crossings help animals and people travel more easily and safely. Question number 29. Read this first part of the story and answer below given questions. An impossible distance. Father's birthday is today, Helga exclaimed to Lena, pressing the phone to her ear. I need a special gift. Any ideas? Her friend asked. No. He always just says his one wish is to see his mother, Helga sighed. Grandmother lived in West Berlin, only 1 mile from their East Berlin apartment, but it was an impossible distance on the other side of the wall. Listen, I heard my parents whispering they feel a change coming. I think Lena began hearing father's footsteps outside the apartment. Helga cut in abruptly. Lena, he's home. We will talk later. Helga bounced to the door to greet father. The sight of his solemn face reminded him of her father's losses. When he was 11, he spent the night at his cousin's house in East Berlin. That night, the government raised a barrier separating the two parts of the city. Father couldn't go home. He hadn't seen his mother in over 28 years. How does Helga speak when she ends the call? Use context clues in the above text to help you figure out the meaning of the word abruptly. Option A is she speaks in a loud, powerful tone. B is she speaks in cheery, carefree manner. C, she speaks in an angry, fearful way. D, she speaks in a short, almost rude way. So option D is the correct option because abruptly means in a sudden, unexpected, and sometimes unpleasant way. So she speaks in a short, almost rude way. Question number 30. Read the following paragraph, then add the best concluding sentence. Giant pandas have quite large appetite and can eat for about 12 hours a day. Their diet consists mostly of the bamboo plant, but these plants are low in nutrients. So giant pandas must eat a lot of bamboo in order to get the nutrition they need. In fact, these pandas may eat up to 28 pounds of bamboo each day. To get enough bamboo, pandas will sometimes climb high mountains and they often seek bamboo that is sprouting new leaves. This is because the leaves contain more nutrients. If there isn't enough bamboo to eat, the pandas will eat small animals such as rodents, fish, or insects. Option A, whether it's bamboo or a small animals, giant pandas need to eat enough to get the right nutrition. B, giant pandas eat bamboo because all the nutrients in it. C, though they will eat any part of the bamboo plant, giant pandas prefer the plant's leaves. The giant panda's teeth are shaped to crush the bamboo that they eat. So here option A is the suitable one. Whether it's bamboo or small animals, giant pandas need to eat enough to get the right nutrition.